Fightful.com founder, owner. You've never seen his face before. Technically, I don't think I've ever seen your face before.
No, I feel like I should be wearing a lucha mask or something for this.
It's been a while. It had been a while, rather, before Fightful.com, since you had been in the wrestling news game. What motivated you to bring back Fightful.com besides seeing my work and saying we got to build a site around this guy?
I was going to say, I heard about this rock star, and he wasn't available, so then I contacted you.
We're 100 episodes old at Fightful.com, so we hired some guy to write us a song. The only dude we could afford was Trevor Strong, the idiot who sings the stupid song that just goes on and on. You might find some meaning, but you wouldn't be. Sorry.
I can't believe you had a hand in that.
Yeah, he asked me this
We
morning.
cover pro wrestling, boxing, and MMA. Our main man, Jimmy, is Canadian, and Sean is American from Kentucky. Producers Nigel and Melissa are super okay. Fightful.com! Fightful.com! This is the Fightful.com! Super full on! Make a fantastic song! Here's a cardboard cutout with some bad Photoshop.
Hang him on.
Here's Jimmy and Sean, except that Sean can't talk.
Did you mute yourself? Oh, he's just bullshitting.
Here's a girl who says drinking her dog tea does the trick.
Why did you put that on the air?
And here's Sean promoting pills for your dick.
I can help out my Great White South by going to
Fightful.com. Fightful.com.
He's way more animated when he is on the camera.
Super full on. Sell pills for your dong. Make a fantastic song. Yeah, 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 yeah. Woo.
Oh, I'm so blacked out. I laughed so hard.
Yeah.
So I have to say here, okay?
Yeah.
I have never met Jim Cornette. I've never met Jim Cornette. We have never corresponded before. He doesn't know me, and I don't know him.
Yeah. 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 Fightful.com. Fightful.com. This is a Fightful.com. Super full on with Jimmy and Sean. Sell pills for your dong. Make a fantastic song. Make a fantastic song. It's The List and your boy with Jimmy Van and Sean Ross Sapp.
And we are live.
What's up, you guys?
I wanted to insult you, Sean, but I really can't after that.
That was amazing.
Listen,
That
your
was
boy.
awesome.
Number 100, and I have waited 100 episodes to say thank you to Trevor Strong for the Fightful song. Actually, no, thank me, because I paid the man.
I gotta hear the story on that one, Sean.
Okay, so I had a lot of tricks up my sleeve for 100,
Yeah.
and we're about to get into them, because
yeah.
almost all of them unraveled in miserable, like in the most miraculous ways possible. Almost all my surprises unraveled. This one did not. A couple months ago, I hit up Trevor Strong, and I was like, "Hey, man, don't know if you know who we are, but we're Fightful. We run your clip on our show every week. You've probably seen comments on your videos saying Jimmy Van or Sean Ross Sapp or Fightful." He quoted me a price. I said, "Wow, steep." Did it anyway. And he asked for like some info. I hit him with like some very vague bullet points and a couple of clips, and he put together that song.
I have to ask, like, was he mad we've been using this song?
No, he thanked me. He said
thanked you.
Yes, he said thank you for the support and wrote a hell of a song. Hit me with a rough draft, and I said, "Hey, could you add this in?" And he said, "Yeah, sure." And then hit me with that very quickly, like with very little to go on.
That's
he did
amazing.
this song. He is outstanding.
We're actually from the same area.
Well, that song's been stuck in my head for a goddamn month and a half. Because I had that all edited and put together probably over a month ago. And
had he ever heard of us, or had he like noticed the comments on his YouTube?
Yes. There's no way he couldn't have.
Yeah,
but
okay.
Then the Warrior thing happened, and the Melisa presser happened, and I added in some more things. But we had that. But Jimmy, that wasn't the only surprise I had planned. I had conspired, along with producers Nigel and Melissa.
Not Melissa, because you're fighting her at the end of the show today.
Well,
so you didn't conspire with her.
We set our differences aside for a good 3 minutes.
Where do you think I'm fighting her at? I'm going to be in Toronto. By the end of this show, I'm going to make it so I can kick Melissa's ass.
You're going to find a way. Yep.
But I was supposed to be there earlier. About a month ago, when the interview subject, which we will get into, also unraveled, and boy, did it get even worse in recent weeks. I was like, you know what? I should show up there as the show goes on the air. And I was like, could I do this? I looked at some flight prices, and I was like, you know what? I'm thrifty. I can do it. I can do it. You know, it is confusing, this quality of life that I have, because I'm talking about thrifty ways to fly to an international to a different country.
I'm going to cut you off for a second before you start. We're doing a bunch of giveaways today, and the first one is happening right now. The first person that retweets, that we're live on the air and says hashtag ListenYourBoy100 gets a prize pack. First person that does it, and Melissa and Sean are watching.
Well, let me tell you what my prize pack from Air Canada was. It was a big old F you, SRS. So I was supposed to fly out today. 11 was the time I was going to fly out. I was going to land at 12:30, get sent to my hotel, and I was going to await the beginning of this show in your office somewhere, hidden away. I had told maybe a handful of people. And then as the show came on the air, I was going to bust in. However, even though I checked in on my little app, it didn't send me a confirmation email yesterday. I said, that's weird. No big deal. I'll handle it at the front desk. I apparently showed up 2 minutes after the woman at the front desk headed back to the plane, essentially.
What time did you show up?
I think, well, as I looked at my phone, I placed the call to Air Canada at 10:07. So I had probably been there 2 minutes, probably got there 10:04, 10:05.
What time was your flight?
11 is when they departed.
It's a little bit tight.
It is a ghost town in Cincinnati airports. But anyway, the longest I've ever spent at TSA in Cincinnati or to get through anywhere is 20 minutes. That's it.
Right.
Max.
They do say 2 hours for
They
international
do, but I know in
flights.
Toronto you've been sitting at the gate for a long time because of that.
Oh, yeah. I get to take naps. So the
Yeah.
woman's like, no, I'm not coming back. I'm not coming back. Over the radio to another woman. Then she's like, I don't have time. Then I get emails that's like, your flight is going to leave 21 minutes early. And I'm like, where was the time you didn't have, lady? Very frustrating. So I had to hit up Melissa and Nigel and everybody and
what else happened, Sean?
Well, I'm getting there.
Okay.
So at first, Air Canada's like, we're not giving you your money back. And I'm like, excuse me, sir, I'm way too thrifty for that. So that's not going to fly. Eventually, I had to take to the power of social media at the urging of you all.
I told you to do it. Yeah,
You're like, because usually I don't like to do that type of stuff. But hey, you want me to go into cunt mode? I'll do it.
Money's money.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep.
And we're thrifty. Or I am.
Yeah, but the quality of life confuses people.
On my way back, I'm trying to make sure I get home one time. I get hit with the speed trap that is the AA highway. And I get a friggin' speeding ticket on my way here.
And so, tell me, so how fast were you going, and what was the zone speed?
Like 200, who cares?
You were going 200?
I was like, I don't know, maybe
I
it's
actually zoomed in. You were going 70 and a 55.
70 and a 55.
He knocked a little off for me.
And I'm going to interrupt you because we do have a winner already.
We have a winner already.
Gully of the Year. I think that's how you say it. I might be wrong. I'll PM you. We'll set it up.
Okay, awesome. So they get the first prize back. Now, there's going to be 2 more giveaways on the show. The first one is going to be Melissa's favorite live chat comment.
Me.
Whatever she deems to be her favorite live chat comment, you're going to win a prize pack.
Don't be shy, boys.
Yeah, you're going to win a prize pack. The final prize pack, which is going to be for people that cannot see this live, Melissa's favorite YouTube comment in the YouTube comments. Whatever her favorite one is, you are going to win a prize pack. And we have stuff up for grabs today, like we have an Xavier Woods action figure, we have a Cesaro action figure. Isn't that illegal what you're doing right now? We have, what is that, from a board game? What the hell is that?
My life is a lie, Jimmy. I thought I was thrifty. But as it turns out, I'm not that thrifty.
No.
But you know what? I'm obviously not the guy to take financial advice from. I mean, I'm not the guy. I thought I was. I thought I was thrifty. But now I can be, because onyourown.org/Fightful is sponsoring the Listen Ya Boy 100. They are a personal finance blog that provides free and unbiased.
Come on, Melissa. She's doing it already.
We didn't have an On Your Own.
She's doing it already.
Why we're fighting, Melissa? Because
this is exactly why they're fighting.
Whether or not you're starting out in the real world or looking for a new beginning, just like I am, with a new producer, onyourown.org/Fightful. See, you messed me up. Is going to be there as a helpful guide and your biggest supporter. Their blog articles are written by personal finance experts from the National Endowment for Financial Education. The NEFE is the leading nonprofit national foundation dedicated to inspiring empowered financial decision-making for individuals and families. Whether you're talking about choosing a credit card, getting started in investing, or what to do when your identity is stolen, Melissa. All of your personal finance questions can be answered by onyourown.org/Fightful. It is a completely free resource. Jump on that. onyourown.org/Fightful.
I don't know why we don't have a graphic for it, Melissa. Don't know why we don't.
God, Melissa.
We'll talk later about that.
This is why the fight is taking place. This is the reason, because of these fuck-ups. So I have to ask you, Sean. Actually, I'm going to ask both you guys. How are you guys feeling today? Are you feeling spry? Are you are you ready to go? Have you been training? Are you warmed up?
I'm definitely warmed up. You know, I feel like I might go a little easier on him, maybe, but probably not.
And Sean, you've had a hell of a day, so you already missed a flight and got a speeding ticket, and now you might get your ass kicked. So how are you feeling today, given all of that?
I didn't even train for this. I'm over here, thanks to my boy John Baez, drinking Pepsi with real sugar in glass bottles.
Did he send
Pepsi?
you
That looks like a Coke bottle, no?
It's a Pepsi bottle.
I don't know. Okay, it's been a long time since I've seen those.
Yeah, I know. That's why I put it out there on Facebook, and our dude John Baez, who's a Fightful Select subscriber, actually sent me some.
So I understand that you were somewhat of a celebrity at Starrcade last weekend. I understand.
Yeah, people wanted to figure out what it was like to fuck up everything in your life, so they came and talked to me.
Oh.
I heard that you were getting selfies like on the way to the bathroom, at concessions.
Almost one in the bathroom.
You had a selfie in the bathroom?
Let me tell you this story. This is probably my favorite. So I had a couple people that talked to me. Good times. I love that. But I'm at the urinal taking a piss, and I hear, Sean Ross Sapp taking a piss. To which I reply, yeah, I sure am. And I turn around, and nobody's there.
No way.
They Batmaned me.
Did you see them later on?
I don't know who it is.
You don't know who it was?
It could have been one of the people that I met throughout the evening at Starrcade, but I wouldn't know. How
many people recognized you? Like, how many times were you approached?
Maybe 6 or 7.
That's pretty good.
Damn.
That's pretty good.
I'm from the area. I mean, people would expect me to be there.
Still, like, our little site's doing all right. And WWE hooked you up with that ticket, right?
Yes, they did.
And you got to keep the chair and everything.
Yeah, I did. It's downstairs.
That worked out all right. That's good. Even though we've been at odds with them and they're trying to threaten me, that worked out good. You got a free ticket to the...
Is it time? Is it time?
We're not telling it today. We're not telling it today.
I had somebody, actually, true story, guy sitting 3 seats away from us leaned over, John Martin, and said, Sean Ross Sapp. And I was like, yeah, hey, man. And he goes, you all telling the story on Listen to You 100?
No,
I swear.
come on.
John, if you're hearing this, confirm. Send a tweet to Jimmy. He asked.
No way. So the only thing that I've said to Sean, we will tell the story soon. We're not doing it today. We'll tell it soon. The only thing I said to Sean is, when we tell it, let me tell it. because if I let Sean tell it, I will get sued. So let him tell it. And for the record, Sean, I'm not afraid of getting sued, and I've been sued before. I'm not afraid of it. I just don't want to have to blow a bunch of money for no reason. You know?
Well, speaking of, my wife is actually home right now and sent me a message saying, watching you burn that money on the podcast is so realistic. It's like I can almost smell you burning our money. He doesn't have a job right now.
Oh man, well, you know what? That would have been a great surprise. It's too bad I didn't work out, but things will work out. Sean was able to get a credit for the flight. I told him I'll give you cash for the credit next time I bring you in.
Who needs it, Jimmy?
It's all the wash. It's all the wash.
This camera isn't picking up any of the. I'm making it rain in here.
I see that.
It's like an Okada entrance. It's fantastic.
And the Trevor Strong thing's amazing. I want you to give me his contact information because,
cool.
Yeah, he and I live in this. We're from the same area.
Want me to give you the expense information too?
Don't push your luck.
Yeah. I don't know, man. You might want to give me the medical bills after this fight with Melissa coming up.
Yeah, I doubt it. I mean, hey,
American.
You did recommend me and actually said you would pay for it because I have this terrible cough.
Yes.
And you had me go get checked out. And
Yes,
I in fact, do not have AIDS.
That's positive.
That's shocking.
Yeah.
That's positive. I'm glad that you're AIDS free. That's good. So I guess we'll talk a little wrestling before we get into.
This hasn't been a wrestling podcast in months.
It is
Jimmy.
a pro wrestling podcast.
You know all those times at a stupid people where you say this isn't a political podcast.
I know.
This isn't a wrestling podcast.
Well, you know, it's a wrestling podcast, but we do other shit. But it is a wrestling podcast. I want to give a shout out to Hacksaw Jim Duggan. He's somebody that you know. I'm a big fan of Sean. He's one of my favorite people in wrestling. I used to book him for any of our new viewers. I used to book Jim on the independent circuit a lot back in the late 90s, early 2000s. And the Jim Duggan that you see on television as far as the smiling and the thumbs up, that's the real Jim Duggan. He is just a good guy. And I always liked him, and he always was really good to me. Jim, this past week, he was hospitalized in ICU at Kershaw County Medical Center in Camden, South Carolina. He was discharged last Saturday. He hasn't come public yet with what the problem was, and I'm not going to speculate. All I do know is that I know that Kershaw, they're known for their cardiac work, but otherwise I'm not going to speculate anything. I'm glad he's all right and back home, and yeah, I heard that news, and like I said, I really like Jim Duggan a lot, and I wish him well.
Yeah, a fun fact for you guys, one of the only pieces of wrestling merchandise that Matt Riddle owns is a signed 2x4 of Matt Riddle. What did you do?
I almost dropped the list.
It wasn't me.
The list of
As
Jimmy
if
Van almost went
Things
flying.
couldn't get any worse. I'm pretty sure that Melissa produced my travel arrangements. I'm pretty
You can't
sure
blame
that's
me
So
for that
I
one,
was
my
saying
friend.
earlier, I don't know how she could have pulled off the speeding ticket, but I kind of blame her for the speeding ticket. You
Yeah,
know?
I do too.
Because this is mind games because she wants to fuck you up in your fight today. So these are mind games leading into it.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. It's working. But
Oh,
the thing
well
is,
then you're
I
in
can
for a couple
separate-
more
Psychic.
surprises, my friend.
I can separate the mental game from me whipping that ass, which I'm gonna do today. And by the way, I fart dirty. I said I fart dirty. You remember when Kane was the GM and he congratulated Daniel Bryan on a hard fart victory?
Yes, vaguely, yeah.
I almost went there. I do fart dirty. That is a fact.
I don't want to fight you anymore. That's gross.
Well, there you
All
go.
right. Well, since we're in a celebratory mood, I want to give congratulations to the city of St. Louis, Missouri. Congratulations. And the people of St. Louis, congratulations, because this is a monumental week for St. Louis, Missouri. You know why this is such a massive thing for St. Louis, Sean?
What's that?
Because according to KSDK NBC5 out of St. Louis, the XFL is bringing a team to St. Louis, Sean.
Shit. So here's the funny
First
thing.
city announced, St. Louis, Missouri is getting an XFL franchise. Congratulations.
I saw other wrestling websites report about this, and I didn't even check the chat to ask Andrew or Jeremy if they had, because you know why? It's not wrestling.
I know, but it's Vince McMahon's little thing.
I'm saying, I'm okay with us talking about it here.
Yeah.
My news guys are not beholden to reporting about the latest locations of XFL teams.
Right.
It's not going to matter in 2.5 years anyway.
I just find it comical, so I like talking about it. It's fun to me, you know?
That's what you need to do. Forget the Toronto Blue Jays game. Take the whole office to a what would be the name?
If they had a team in Toronto?
Yeah.
What do you think? Maybe the Toronto Sixes? They would do something stupid. They call it like the Toronto Sixes, or
For sure they
it.
would.
maybe the Toronto Smoke, something dumb.
Yeah,
You
the
know?
Toronto Drizzies.
If it's Vince McMahon, it could be anything. You know, if it's Vince McMahon.
Yeah,
Who
that's
knows?
true.
Who knows? I also want to give a shout out to Braun Strowman. He underwent elbow surgery, and
Yeah, he did.
it looks like they're confident he'll be back for TLC because they're still promoting the matchup with Baron Corbin. So it looks like they're confident. And I want to tell a story that I've told Sean before.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell it on the show here because the Big Show was on Busted Open Radio, and he told this story, and it was very reminiscent of a story that I told Sean Ross Sapp. So anybody that's on Fightful Select, we put up matches from my old independent archive. And there was one match that we put up a little while ago, and it featured a wrestler named JC Owens.
Nowhere near as good as El Tornado.
Nowhere near as good as El Tornado. And
El
probably-
Tornado's my boy.
There you go, and he's probably long into the business. JC Owens, when I first met this kid, this is like 99-ish, he was probably like 6 feet tall and probably in the neighborhood of 400 pounds. And Ontario, the independent scene was mostly cruiserweight type wrestlers. Bobby Roode at the time was by far the physically one of the bigger guys, and you see Bobby Roode in WWE, he's not. So Ontario at the time, a lot of cruiserweight style guys. JC Owens would take one clothesline and bump, or he would take one drop kick and bump. And when I started booking him, I tried to explain to him, you're more than twice the size of these guys. What the hell are you doing? And he told me, no one has ever come to me before. He said, no one has ever come to me and explained this to me. And after that, I had him kind of doing the Yokozuna, you know, where you would stagger them and all that. Big Show told the story on Busted Open Radio, but when he first met Braun Strowman, and he saw Braun Strowman bump off one clothesline from Sami Zayn, and basically tried to explain to him the psychology of the business, and Braun smartened up. And I thought of the JC Owens story right away. I thought, hey, let's tell that story and I can plug Fightful Select at the same time.
Yeah, I
Works for
love
everybody.
calling those. We post those every month at the end of the month. Braun had actually, from what I understand, went to the PC when he was out for a while at one point, when he was first getting like started on the main roster, and practiced doing the tumble over the top rope because he knew he was going to have to for the Royal Rumble coming up.
Right.
That's why he's so good at that.
Right.
And that should be the biggest bump that he takes.
Right.
That should be an outside of maybe a superplex or something like that.
I agree.
We have some name recommendations for Toronto football teams. In the
Oh,
live
yeah?
chat.
What do we got? What do we got?
The Snowbirds,
The Snowbirds?
the Canadian Bacons.
That's not
and
bad.
my personal favorite, the Toronto Ass Cheeks.
The Toronto Ass Cheeks. I
Yeah.
don't know what to think of that one. The Canadian Bacon's not bad.
Yeah, I like
It's not bad. I'm taking a... See, I have the chat now on my screen here. I'm able to see all this stuff.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah, that's not too bad.
So right about now is when I'd be throwing to an interview segment, Jimmy.
Yes, it would be.
But not only did this interview segment not show up to my interview, he didn't even show up to the podcast. And
That's
some
a
people,
shame.
when I say this name, are going to go, oh.
Mm-hmm.
But I was planning on interviewing James Ellsworth. Now, James Ellsworth's been in some shit of late. And hey, that's okay. Reserve judgment. We'll see how that all unfolds.
Yeah.
Hope it works out for everybody involved.
We might have the
But-
new really unique contest prize soon, depending on how that shakes out.
Yeah.
Oh god.
So, because James Ellsworth is in the background of our podcast weekly and a running joke, the big hog, ha ha ha, dicks, I thought that would be a good interview because I legitimately have a lot of stuff I could ask him. I was supposed to interview him after his first WWE run, and then by the time that we had set something up, he was back in WWE, so I never got to. So I know a friend of his by the name of Dennis Farrell, who's a really nice guy. He does the podcast with Petey Williams and with James Ellsworth. And he's like, man, I'm going to get you this interview. You've done a lot to help out our podcast. You retweet our stuff. Dennis Farrell is a great dude. He's like, here's his email address. Email him.
Isn't he the
I
one
ain't-
that asked me to follow him on Twitter and then I didn't?
There you go.
Okay.
But that's also Melissa. That's also
Yeah.
Melissa.
I was about to say he knows what it's like to be me.
But I emailed James, nothing. They're together the next week, and he goes, James says he hasn't gotten an email. I screenshot the email. I sent it to him. I said, there it is. He's like, all right, do it again. I emailed him again. Nothing. Keep in mind, I'm getting, at this point in time, I'm getting like Corey Graves on the record, leaving me comments and getting interviews left and right. James Ellsworth's big leaguing me. I'm like, all right, whatever.
I think he's avoiding the media the best he can.
Well, this was well before that.
Oh, this was before that?
This was, oh yes, before I called him out publicly on Twitter, mind you.
Oh, okay.
Because then Dennis goes, here's his phone number. And I said, you know what? I feel a little creepy doing that, but I'll do it.
Yeah, call him, yeah.
I didn't call him. I sent him a message.
Okay.
Nothing.
Okay.
So he said, he posted something on Twitter, and I said, how about you do an interview with me? He replies to the Twitter message or the tweet and says, cool, let's do it, man. I DM him, nothing. Nothing. I got stood up by James Ellsworth.
Well, I want to say first to Jay Lane in the live chat, since I can see the live chat. I want to tell Jay Lane, he said, Jimmy, thoughts on Koskinen as the new Oilers goalie? I have him on my fantasy team. I'm loving Mikko Koskinen. He's got 2 shutouts. Thought he was overpaid when they signed him. He's looking good. Cam Talbot might end up on the trade block. Good news, Sean. Even though you lost the James Ellsworth interview, we have something to take the place of that interview in this segment, and I'm going to go ahead and turn the floor over to Melissa for this one.
You're welcome. I plan to use his existing insecurities against him.
LB.
What's up, you guys? Your girl Melissa here, managing educator of Sean Ross Sapp. You might know him as the E-Wing Express, the 33-year-old who will defend to his death his Twitter finesse, but I digress. Let's take a breath. If you haven't guessed, I'll explain real fast. It's a list in your boy, Fightful Wrestling Podcast. I'm sure you've seen us. Our reach is vast, even though Sean yells, right in the penis! First there's Jimmy Van. He's an insider trading and wrestling fan. And then there's this guy beside Big Boss. We got thrifty with his name. Now he goes by Sean Ross. Then there's me, mocking sweet tea, it's Latina heat. When things go south, you can call it Kentucky Wi-Fi. Sean's running his mouth as his internet says bye-bye. Bye-bye. Then Wirecast goes down, I cut the tension with a knife as Sean continues to question his quality of life. He's angry, he's confused, he broke the stream and I get accused. Right. Abused, like a shameless plug. Speaking a little blue pills, looks like his head just took one. Hey Sean, here's an idea on how to rebrand from a sock puppet with no brain that sits on Jimmy's hand. Don't worry, it's only tentative. Change your name to SRS, aka Sean's really sensitive. Sorry. This username is already taken by some guy whose scoops are the opposite of break-in. Next time, try writing something worthwhile. For now, you can throw that story in the SRS file. Get it? Because it's shit. Penis! Right in the penis! Boom! Roasted! Woo!
That was pure talent. Pure talent.
Catch me on SoundCloud, guys.
This is like the pre-match press conference, the pre-fight press conference, kind of. That was stellar,
Well,
Melissa.
it wouldn't have taken much for Melissa to outdo herself there, now would it?
Listen, Thrifty Scent.
You're turning into a Canada versus USA thing. You just couldn't handle that Pusha T just eviscerated Drake, could you? You wait until I drop my version of Adidon and I reveal that you have a secret son. I'm going to let everybody know.
At least what I threw at you was all very accurate.
You have actual producers to help you. Real producers whose job you can't do.
Nigel made me sound less like a dying raccoon, yes, but I wrote that whole thing myself.
She wrote and performed it.
And I'm very tone deaf. That was difficult, Sean.
I don't know what is this? Are you like the mummy from WCW? What did they call him, Sean? The mummy character?
You know, I'm just masking myself from all the shit on this podcast.
How do you segue to pro wrestling after that, Melissa? This is difficult. How do you do that? How do you do that?
Rapper.
You know what?
Pro wrestling rapper, and more.
What I'm gonna do today, instead of talking a lot of news, wrestling news, instead of doing a lot of news, we'll do a lot of positive shout-outs today, Sean. So how about a positive shout-out to Martha Hart? How about that? Let's do that.
Okay, yeah.
Because it was reported by Glenn Oliver from Slam Sports that a company out of England called Curate Films, they're actually going to do a documentary about Owen Hart. This is after Martha Hart had said, don't want anything to do with it, don't want anything to do with pro wrestling, and she was at war with the Hart siblings and Bret Hart and all that. She's going to allow Curate Films access to her personal archive, and they've already interviewed Bret Hart and Natalia for this documentary. So kudos, Martha Hart, for letting Owen Hart's story be told. I thought that was really positive news. That's good.
Yeah, it's beyond time. I wish that WWE could be involved to some degree, but I get it. Martha Hart's never going to do that, and while I disagree with it, I think that it's more of her place to agree or disagree than Sean Ross Sapp sitting in Ewing, Kentucky. And not in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Maybe if I was in Toronto, in Canada, I would have a little more of a right to say something.
I mean, you're gonna make your way here for the fight, so.
I mean, I will be, but I'm leaving immediately afterwards because I know Melissa's the kind that's going to press charges. Let's be honest.
That might happen. Zach McDonald asked me, what do you think about the Buffalo Sabres winning 10 in a row? All I got to say is they're doing what the Edmonton Oilers could not do, and that is use all those high draft picks to make a winning team. So kudos to them.
I mean, let's be real. Melissa's already got police and law enforcement in her pocket. That's why I got a speeding ticket today. So.
Maybe that's what Fightful HR is. It's not Arsenal.
What do you got next, Jimmy?
How about, let's talk about Big Daddy Walter.
Okay.
So back in March, there were rumors that WWE was interested in him. I think somebody even reported that they signed him, and Walter himself said that's not true. Now he is officially signed, and he's going to be going to the Performance Center in Orlando. Anybody that's not familiar with this guy, he reminds me of a big William Regal, sort of.
Yeah.
What do you think? He's like 6'4", he's like 310 pounds. He's not as agile as a Samoa Joe, not really. If you've ever seen his match footage, one of his signature moves is actually Earthquake's butt bomb. Oh, legitimately, that's one of his signature moves. Stan Hansen's lariat, that's another of his signature moves. Reminds me of kind of like a big young William Regal. And what Walter had going for him is that he worked for the right promotions. Because there have been a lot of rumors about how WWE is going to be limiting their NXT UK talent to only compete for promotions that are part of their little circle, like Progress and WXW and ICW. And he wrestled for those promotions, and good for him. He's one of these talents, Sean. I don't know if he's going to work out on the main roster, but in NXT he will crush it.
Yeah, and he got a lot of exposure, as did his opponent PCO for their match at Joey Janela's Spring Break around WrestleMania weekend. That was one of the standout matches. I mean, it really helped put PCO back on the map.
Yeah, and those guys are very similar too, those two guys.
Yeah, well, besides the 20-year age difference.
Aside from that, no, but otherwise physically they're similar. Walter's bigger, but they're similar. Yeah. You know, so well, good for him. And speaking of NXT UK, they're going to do their first takeover show in January in Blackpool, England. That's big because people for a while have been asking, when are we going to get a WWE pay-per-view in the UK? And everybody's always fondly talking about SummerSlam 92, Wembley Stadium. And I saw an interview with Triple H, and he said SummerSlam 92 was not actually that financially successful.
Yeah.
And the time zone thing is a problem for them, but now the network kind of changes things a little bit. So they're going to do an NXT takeover for the UK brand in Blackpool. Should be interesting.
Well, they did do one 3 years ago. They did the NXT TakeOver London that had Bayley and Nia and Balor and Joe on it. But yeah, I'll have to take Air Canada over there and sit in on that show. I'm glad but in all seriousness, I'm glad they're doing it. I'm not a big follower of NXT UK. Mm-hmm. Warren Hayes covers that for FightfulSelect.com every week, guys, so make sure you all check that out.
And there's just so much content now. It's hard to keep up on everything.
It is, and I mean, it got to the point I had to delegate, and Steven Jensen now covers Ring of Honor, Impact Wrestling, Lucha Underground, Being the Elite, and NWA content on Select for us. It got to be too much to where it's like, I can't just sit around and review wrestling TV all day. I got to chase stories and get news and all that stuff. For somebody whose job it is to watch all this and review it, it's even too much. So I mean, for regular people, like maybe kids can take in him. They don't have anything else to do.
Almost like Melissa's offensive skill set. It's going to be too much for you, Sean.
Yeah, everything about Melisa is offensive. That's damn sure. Like I said, have you seen her eat a sandwich? Gross. I can't wait to kick your ass, Melisa.
You know what? When there's $500 on the line to be won in 2 minutes, you do what you got to do.
That was $1,500.
That was $1,500,
Yeah.
Sean.
And it was a wrap. Learn your foods.
I wouldn't know anything about winning that amount of money. I would know how to lose $500 in about 2 minutes.
You're really good at that.
Really good at that. Thank God for onyourown.org/Fightful helping me out in the future.
What do you think of Lars Sullivan, the free agent gimmick?
I like the free agent gimmick. I really enjoy it. I thought that they should have done it for EC3 before because he seems like the type of guy from a character that would show up in a suit and be like, which one of you all wants me type of thing. But they're going forward with Lars Sullivan. I don't know how he'll work out. Like when I look at Braun Strowman, I'm like, he is a less good, smaller Braun Strowman.
I kind of look at Lars Sullivan like, because I was thinking about what brand would he be better suited for. I think that he would be better suited for Raw as a challenger for Braun Strowman, assuming that Braun actually gets the Universal title. He could be a good challenger for him. But you're right, he is smaller.
He seems like he'll be the Kane of their next generation. The
Maybe.
guy that he could just slide in and face somebody whenever they don't necessarily have someone.
Possible. Yep, that's possible. I guess we'll see what happens. Should we go to Stupid People because we got the fight coming up? Let's go to Stupid People now. Let's do it now.
Woohoo.
This is a stupid song, it just goes on and on. You might find some meaning, but you would be wrong.
I'm debating about changing up that little video and plugging in the Fightful.com song.
There's really no
Courtesy-
reason not to at this point.
Courtesy of
I'd like
Trevor
to
Strong.
Maximize that, you know. Woo!
Did he know like what day we were going to be airing that song?
No, I do plan on sending him the video though. We'll post the video separately.
Okay, because it was quite good. So, all right, let's start off. So this one was sent in by a person on Twitter, Sean, and their name on Twitter is Dope.
What was
It
that?
really is.
I love it.
At D_OH10 on Twitter. And it was reported by Forbes.com on November 27. Now, I had talked about this story before on this podcast, but now we have video footage, which makes it even better. So back in April of 2017, in a place called Green Valley, Arizona, there was an off-duty Border Patrol officer named Dennis Dickey, and he decided to do a gender reveal for his baby. You know this big gender reveal thing they do now?
They're
right?
stupid.
Yes.
My cousins do them all the time.
Oh, do
and
they?
I love my cousins, but God, they're stupid. I will never go to one.
And I did not do one for either one of my kids. We did not
You're
do a
a
big
saint.
gender reveal party. Yeah, no.
Because you're thrifty.
Oh, if only you knew. So what this guy decided to do for a gender reveal is he decided to set up a target loaded with explosives in the middle of a very hot, dry grass Arizona desert area. And then what he wanted to do was he wanted to shoot one round at the target, have it explode, and then there was a colored powder inside that was going to determine the gender. Blue for a boy, pink for a girl. That's what he decided to do. Keep in mind, full of explosives, hot, dry grass that he placed this thing in. We have the video. Put it up, Melissa.
Oh, man.
And that's why they have to evacuate California.
That was for a campfire, yeah. So in this situation, this created a wildfire that they called the Sawmill Fire. It torched 45,000 acres. It required almost 800 firefighters to put out, all so that he could let his friends and family know that he was having a boy. And to make it even worse, I guess to his credit, Mr. Dennis Dickey, he reported the fire, he cooperated with authorities, and here's the kind of the end result as far as teaching people for future things. Because he cooperated and because he reported the fire, he got probation and a $200,000 fine.
200,000.
200,000, but he torched 45,000 acres, man.
Nothing to me. I spent that this morning. Melissa, so you talk about the benefits of dual citizenship. There ain't many. Stay in Canada. I mean, I'm coming up there to fight you in the face later.
My plan is to stay here. I just want to go over the border and shoot some guns sometimes.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
we'll see where that gets you.
I'd be worried for you, my
I
friend.
mean, apparently you're going to shoot me. You put a target on me.
That was an Eminem reference. Get over yourself.
That was a target with my face on it.
It's already starting.
People are going to think that's okay now.
I hope they don't somehow find a way to come to blows right now. I hope. Because I got to wait until this is like unsanctioned in the not yet completed media room.
When should we do this? When should we?
The end of the show, you guys are going to have the fight. The end of the show.
The very end or almost the end?
Almost the end. Almost the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll get canceled like your flight.
Well, I mean, we don't have to fight.
Boom, roasted.
Let's just not fight.
Oh, man. Oh, she's getting it on you.
I mean, she just said cancel the fight, right? We don't have to fight. I'm okay.
Are you whipping out?
No. It's just, Jimmy, I'm soft at heart.
Uh-huh.
I'm soft.
And everywhere else. 'Cause he's
Well,
sensitive.
not anymore.
Oh, here we go.
Oh.
That's right.
Oh, boy.
BlueChew.com and use that code Fightful, my friends. And you can have yourself a hard knock life. And maybe, if you're married, a hard knock wife, too, when all is said and done. BlueChew.com, code Fightful. I have a wrapper stuck in my mouth. Anyway, it can increase your performance in the bedroom and everywhere else. Wherever you opt to do it. It's prescribed online, shipped straight to your door in a discreet package. No in-person doctor visit. No waiting in the pharmacy, no more awkwardness. It's cheaper. It ships direct. It's quicker. Also, you don't have to, the waiting in line, come on. That's for the birds. Blue Chew brings you the first chewable with the same FDA-approved active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, so you know they work, but they work faster because they're chewable. Take them anytime, day or night. And right now, because you know I'm thrifty, I'm going to give it to you for free. Giving it to you for free. Use the code Fightful. All you got to do is pay, how about that, $5 shipping? Who cares? Not a big deal. Not a big deal. $5 shipping. Use the code Fightful. Hit them up at GetBlueChew and let them know where you heard about it.
Permanent Press says Melissa is Fightful's Becky Lynch. That's high
good,
praise.
right?
That's high praise. High praise.
Yeah.
I'm going to go right to the SRS file.
Okay.
We're going to move right to the SRS file
we
because
just
this
did
is well, I was going to say this is the perfect complement to what you just did. So we're going to go right to that. This was reported by the UK's Pink News on November 19. There's a shopping mall called Tynwald Mills on the Isle of Man, which is in the UK. And they had to apologize for a Christmas display that left some shoppers disgusted. Any idea, Sean, what kind of Christmas display, and keep in mind that this is for the SRS file, any
Dicks!
idea? Melissa, put up that photo.
Hard dicks.
Put up that photo.
Not wrong.
Yeah.
They had two.
Yeah.
They had two life-size models of polar bears that appeared to be doing it doggy style. Look at that.
He can barely
Who thought
contain
that's a
himself.
good idea? Who thought that's a good idea?
I bet they're out there drinking Coke, too. Polar bears love Coke.
Yes, apparently they do. Apparently they do.
Oh,
Isn't
man,
that something?
That polar bear was getting it.
Like I
Damn.
wondered when I saw that if somebody that put the display together was like, I'm gonna have some fun with this.
Well,
You know what I mean?
and the Bears had some fun too. I'm all about it. You know
Apparently
that.
they did.
You know, I'm not gonna advocate giving Blue Chew to animals, but I think that polar bear got into some.
It's possible that's what happened. Melissa, have you yet found your favorite live chat comment?
I have two options here. Let me pick.
Pick your favorite. Don't say which either of them are. Just say the winner, and then the winner gets a prize back.
Okay, it's gonna be Ron. I might butcher your last name. Stalcup? Stalcup?
And what's the comment?
It makes me uncomfortable when Sean's man bun brushes up against Melissa's video box.
Which is exactly what it's doing.
It was very relatable. Thank you, Ron.
It is. It is. There you go. Congratulations. You got yourself a prize pack. Like I said, the very last prize pack, and it's going to be for a Listen to Your Boy Polo tee. The best YouTube comment as chosen by Melissa. You're going to win a Listen to Your Boy Polo tee. So put up those comments after the show is over.
I can't even pretend. I've got so much Blue Chew on my floor right now. It is a distraction.
Isn't that how
It's going to be a
usually is,
distraction for
dude?
your wife once you consume it.
Yeah? I mean, yeah? That's the point.
As long as you wait until after the fight, because I don't want any kind of foreign objects getting in the way of that matchup.
I mean, isn't everything that I do a foreign object? It's already a foreign
American.
object when I cross the border.
That's true. That is true.
Or
That's true.
don't cross the border.
I want to ask you about CM Punk, Sean.
No, Melissa, it's not when I don't cross the border. It'd be a domestic object. Because
I was making a joke
I
about
know.
missing your flight.
It was bad. You're not good at comedy. I can't wait to punch you in the mouth.
I'm gonna play my diss track again.
I was going to say, did you not check out the diss track?
Yeah, it wasn't that great.
You should check it out on
It wasn't
SoundCloud.
awesome at all.
Sour grapes.
It was pretty terrible and not good, and I didn't enjoy it or think it was funny. Now everybody's going to think that it's okay to shoot me and make diss tracks about me, and it's not.
That sounds okay.
We might do a prize giveaway for whoever can come up with the best diss track.
Ooh.
So anybody in the live chat that's got any kind of musical talent,
Drop some bars, guys.
keep that in mind. Keep that in mind.
I mean,
John-
look at it this way. You all couldn't have less musical talent than Melissa, so.
You're not wrong. I have no musical talent. However, I roasted
Stop
you, my
pointing at me
friend.
with your straw. Have some decorum.
I don't waste my limbs on something like
And of
That.
course, you hate the environment too. You've tried to get people to cut my hair, which I'm growing out for cancer patients because you love cancer apparently. And now you hate the environment. You're using a straw. What is wrong?
I'm using a
Seen the
straw,
state
so I
in which
hate
the
the
world is
environment.
in. You're threatening to fight your coworkers. This is a dangerous environment for me to be in.
You're in a really bad place, and I can tell. I'm sorry.
So Sean, let's talk about CM Punk.
Yeah, let's. I was interested by this story this
Gonna
week.
try my best to segue into a wrestling story. So CM Punk was interviewed by MMA Fighting because he's gonna be doing commentary for a promotion, MMA promotion called CFFC.
Cage Fury.
Cage Fury Fighting Championships. They got a show December 14 from Atlantic City, and it's going to be on Fight Pass. He was asked by MMA Fighting about the rumors about All Elite Wrestling and whether or not he would have any interest. He basically said he would listen because he likes the Young Bucks, he likes Matt Jackson. He again went on about how I wasn't given an offer for All In. Everybody thinks I was. All Cody did was say, do you want to be there? That's not an offer. So he's suggesting I'll listen, but they have to make an actual offer. My question for you is, you think there's any chance CM Punk gets back in the wrestling ring with All Elite Wrestling?
Yes, I do, and one of the reasons goes back to his first interview where he talked about his availability for following WWE. He joked, he's like, I might go wrestle the Young Bucks in PWG,
Right.
if you remember that. Like, he made that very clear that was something that maybe he'll do that if he wants to do that. And Matt Jackson has not hid his desire to have CM Punk involved and stuff like that. I think that if there is a chance, that's the best chance.
Do you think that he would still get the same kind of reaction or reception that he would have gotten 5 years ago, given the two MMA losses and given the Colt Cabana lawsuit and all of that?
Oh, man, I think that they probably could have made something work at All In had it not been for those lawsuits.
Right, yeah.
And that was another thing he said was that the lawsuits going on are what between WWE and Colt Cabana and Chris Amon are the things that have kept him linked to wrestling.
Fugazi lawyers, Sean.
Fugazi lawyers is what he
Oh,
said.
yeah, that's what he
And-
said.
And boy, don't I know about those. But anyway, when he says that he can be free and clear of everything after that, I don't know if that means to do whatever he wants in wrestling or to never be in wrestling again.
No, I think I think what he said was, once I'm through with all of that, I'd like to just have fun.
But who knows?
Right now, he still has a
fun.
negative connotation.
I don't know if that even is fun for him.
I don't know. I've got the quote here, but he said, if you want to come to the show and do something, oh no, that's when he's talking about the offer. No, I think when the lawsuits are out of the way, he would do it. He would do something, I think.
Yeah.
So
I hope so. I would like to see him back.
I want to talk about this World Series Wrestling Tour in Australia last weekend. So you know I'm not a fan of hokey shit, Sean, right? And I'm not a fan of like the dick flip, and I'm not a fan of all that crap. Kenny Omega wrestling a girl back in the day, a little girl. Not a fan of all that shit.
She could work.
That's great.
Better wrestle with Melisa. I'm gonna kick her ass.
I'm more for realism in wrestling. But that being said, Sean, Joey Ryan has a torn pec. Cody Rhodes has a meniscus tear in his knee. Neither one of them can wrestle. And so I want to give props to World Series Wrestling for keeping them both on the tour last weekend, finding a way to keep them on the card. What they ended up doing was Joey Ryan challenged Cody Rhodes on every show for the IWGP title. And because they couldn't wrestle, they did things like a staring contest. They did thumb wrestling. They did rock, paper, scissors, which they called Dwayne Paper Scissors. And we have a clip from one of their matches, courtesy of Alex Donnelly at AlexDonnelly14 on Twitter. Put up that clip, Melissa.
Just giving away title matches for free on List Than Your Boy.
Yeah, there you go. That's what we
Keep
did.
telling
I hope
yourself
New
that.
Japan doesn't have an issue with that. But you know what? Props to that promoter, man. Joey Ryan makes his living doing independent wrestling. I know he gets some extra work in Hollywood, but primarily from independent wrestling. And he's one of those guys we had talked about when they were going to miss a bunch of time. That's serious income that they're losing. So good to WSW that they found a way to keep him on the card. So
the fortunate
props for
thing
that.
is Joey Ryan, for what he is, he can go out and have good matches. He does all the time. But he can also show up, dick flip somebody, and the crowd's going to be happy.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, they liked it. What do you think is going on with Alex Riley? Do you think he's having a midlife crisis or something?
I don't know. I do know that, oddly, like the interview that I did with him last year for List Than Your Boy, when we did those video interviews,
Yes.
like at least once a week somebody will comment on it. And I'm like, that's weird. Out of all the people that we've interviewed, like Chael Sonnen and Chris Cyborg, Daniel Cormier, tons of wrestlers, like that and Kenny Dykstra get like new comments every single week.
Are you suggesting it's Alex Riley commenting on Alex Riley's video?
Maybe he's telling us that we should say it to his face.
I mean, he's posting a lot of cryptic stuff on Instagram. He's tagging John Cena and this stuff.
Oh, boy.
And I don't know where this has come from. I mean, we know that there is a past with those two. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to read you a quote. This is when he did an interview on Jim Ross's podcast back in January of 2017. He said, "There was an incident and it certainly changed the path of my career. I don't want to discuss it right now, but I will one day for sure. It was a tough situation at times. I guess we can leave it at that. I struggle with the morality of even talking about it, and I'm not into blowing up anybody else at this point, but I promise you this, I will address it one day." What I always heard was that Cena was threatened by him because they were very similar in terms of looks, size, speaking ability. And I don't know if Cena, screwed his career somehow, or maybe there was a woman involved or something. You never know. But I always heard that he was threatened by Riley and made sure to push him down the card. But
I would be inclined to disagree with this. However, I've heard this similar story about several other guys. Like Tyler Rex, for example, did basically the inverted version of John Cena's finish, and John Cena put a stop to that. He did the reverse Death Valley driver, which isn't really like John Cena's move. It's John Cena does a standing fireman's carry slam, and John Cena put an end to that. We heard about him putting the kibosh on the Nexus beating him when they needed to. They really needed to. Melissa, what's going on? Why you're distracting me?
One of my developers just sent me something that I think you probably will not enjoy too much, but I think Jimmy will. I think now, that's a good transition.
Yeah, well now we're curious.
Are you kidding me? I love it.
So you're saying that I'm basically paying Derek a salary on his
It wasn't even Derek.
It wasn't
That's
Derek?
the best part.
Really? I was going to say I'm paying Derek a salary during the workday to do that. Who did that?
I don't know if I want to throw them under the bus.
Jimmy, I looked like I just
Really?
I look like I'm Shane Helms during his cruiserweight title run.
Yeah, a little bit. You know, it's funny. I ran into, you said it was Tristan, one of our developers. I ran into him on the street when I was coming back from lunch, and he actually looked at me and said, "Good luck on the podcast today."
Oh God.
Well, the puppet was his idea too. He's
I heard
clever
that.
with this stuff.
I heard the
brilliant.
puppet
I
was
like
his
that.
idea. Yeah, that's
I like
awesome.
that. I'm gonna kick your ass, Melissa.
I
have a posse now, clearly.
Oh, okay,
so-
cool.
apparently.
Line them up. I'll boot them all in the face. Don't care.
Did you watch Liddell Ortiz on the weekend? Golden Boy
Oh, I
Promotions?
sure did. I pulled over at California Market on my way home from Starrcade, and myself and Nikita Krylov fan watched it, and it took us about 12 seconds to realize what was gonna happen.
Yeah, now the one thing I want to talk about with that promotion, so anybody that's not an MMA fan, or you probably know who Chuck Liddell is, Tito Ortiz, Golden Boy Promotions did the fight. Todd Grisham did the play-by-play. And people will remember him from WWE. He was there for like almost 10 years. One thing I loved about the show, Sean, was that not only Todd Grisham, but also the color men, Frank Mir and Rashad Evans, two former fighters with the UFC, they were very complimentary about pro wrestling.
Yeah.
Todd Grisham put over his time with WWE as a positive thing. Filthy Tom Lawler was on the card. You guys might know him because he does a lot of pro wrestling, and he's got an affiliation with Figure 4 Weekly.
Interview up at Fightful.com.
There you go. And so they talked about Tom Lawler's wrestling that he does because he was away from MMA for a couple of years. They were very complimentary about it, and I thought that was great. Rashad Evans, of all people, was talking about the natural marriage between MMA and pro wrestling, and they were talking about how, hey, it's predetermined, but the damage is real. They were just very complimentary about it. What did you think of? Did you see the tweet that Todd Grisham had to read on the air that he did not want to read?
No, what was that?
So there was a fighter on the card. His name is Duran Wynn.
Yeah, he's a really good prospect.
He's
I
good.
should beat Tom Lawler.
He shouldn't be 205, but that's another story for another day.
Yeah.
But he's Daniel Cormier's prospect. He trains with Daniel Cormier, and he won against Tom Lawler by decision. What they were doing is after every fight, they would put a tweet on the air, on the screen, and it was clear that Todd Grisham did not see them in advance.
Yeah.
And when they would come on the screen, he would read them. So after Duran Wynn beat Tom Lawler, a tweet was posted on the screen. And you got to remember that Oscar De La Hoya is hoping to turn this into a regular MMA promotion, right? That's the goal. The tweet comes on the screen, and what it basically said was Duran Wynn is going to have a bright future with a big promotion someday. That's basically what it said.
Yeah.
And when it came on the air, Todd Grisham started reading it, and you can tell that he read ahead. And
Yeah.
3 or 4 words in, he paused. Because he was thinking, we should not be reading this shit about
Making
one day.
themselves seem like anything less than a big promotion. Sure.
Right.
Get it.
But he was stuck. The thing was on the air, so he read it.
Also, everybody's calling Darren in the past or in the present tense. He's Duran 1 now, right?
That was
Get
a
it?
joke, right? Because
'Cause
I
he
think I
won?
get it. Yeah, okay, I got it. I'm proud.
You're gonna learn comedy yet, Melissa. I am gonna kick your ass. But yeah,
This is going to be a good fight, people. This is going to
perception
be a
is
good fight.
I doubt that. But perception is reality, and the thing is, you want to make everything seem as important as you can, especially in a situation like that where you have two of the most popular fighters of all time fighting, one of which, Chuck Liddell, had no business being cleared.
No
Tito,
business.
I'm fine with Tito fighting. I'm fine with Tito being cleared.
Mhm.
I think he won his last 2 fights, or maybe 2 of his last 3, but he's just fine. He's not great or anything, but not where it's like, hey, he shouldn't be licensed. When I saw
Yeah.
Chuck Liddell fighting, I saw pillow hands, slow reaction, bad technique.
He had a
horrible
limp.
footwork. He was limping.
He was limping, like literally limping down the aisle to get into the ring.
Yep.
And when they showed him sparring, and again, I don't want to go on about MMA for too long, but when they showed him sparring, he was sucking wind after like 3-4 punches when they were sparring. And it's not the same, but if I'm going to try to make a comparison to pro wrestling, it's almost like Andre the Giant when he had to hold on to Bobby Heenan to keep himself balanced as he walked to the ring. Because he was so far past his prime. Liddell was far past his prime.
And how about this? Liddell was probably about 5 or 6 years older than Andre the Giant at that point.
Isn't that amazing? Well, Andre was 40, I think, for WrestleMania 3, right?
I think he was 43 when he died.
Yeah, I think he was about 40 at WrestleMania 3. I think he died at 45.
He would have been... Yeah, he was. Okay, you're right.
Yep.
He was, 40 for that. So, no, he was about 47 when he died.
When he died.
No,
okay.
Chuck Liddell was about a year or two older than Andre there. There you go.
Okay, a year or two older. All right. So, I don't want to talk about a lot of negatives when it comes to Raw. Because Raw this week was poopy. And so I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about negatives. So what I did was I actually found a way to come up with some positives from the show, Sean.
Oh, really? The Falcon Arrow.
The Falcon Arrow was a good one. And I saw the thing about, Seth Rollins, the curb stomp is banned. And Rollins was like, no.
Yeah.
That's incorrect. But I was looking at positives. What about the inverted Alabama slam into the ring steps?
We now call that the Bama Slamma.
That was amazing, wasn't it? I had never seen that before, so that was good. What about Elias's growing popularity, Sean?
That's great. I love it.
He's going to be the biggest thing on the Raw brand.
He was really over at Starrcade, too. That was a blast.
Awesome. What about Elias's top rope elbow?
That was good.
And I got to say, and not that I want to shit on CM Punk, but a lot of people for a long time considered CM Punk one of the best in the world, right? CM Punk's top rope elbow, I thought was dog shit. He landed it so that his hand was coming down on the side of your head, and it didn't even look like an elbow. You know what I mean?
So I just want to say it is funny that the best things we can find about a wrestling show is that they did a few moves right.
I know. I'm stretching here, Sean.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that Baron, Drew, and Bobby as a group is pretty awesome. If they keep those guys together as a heel group, give them a name, and they've got their manager, and I think that's cool. If they
Even though Ziggler and Rollins was good, we did not need to see that again. I posted that stat, and you said, yeah, so pretty much like 2 or 3 times a month, right?
Basically 3 times every 4 weeks for 5 months.
We
in
don't
some
need that.
capacity. No.
I get it. They're running low right now. They've written off Kurt Angle. They've got Roman Reigns dealing with leukemia. Braun's out. Kevin Owens is out. Sammy's out. Lashley was working hurt for a while. Alexa's out.
Yeah.
They're running. That's sad though that they've.
But they could have grabbed anybody for that spot, Sean.
Exactly. It's
right?
an open challenge.
Open challenge.
It's
yeah.
an open challenge.
Yeah.
Anybody.
They could have threw Chad Gable in there and it would have been a good match.
Yeah.
Right? Although he was in the tag team title match, but they could have grabbed anybody that wasn't already working the show and thrown him in there. It didn't have to be Dolph Ziggler.
Do you have any other positivity?
Not a lot after that. So I'm gonna theorize because I'm trying to find a positive outcome here. So Jinder Mahal and No Way Jose booked on Monday Night Raw. The only thing I can think of is that somebody fucked up and they swapped out the format sheets and that was supposed to be on main event. Because otherwise, I don't really understand the point of that. Actually, let me ask you a question, Sean. So Starrcade, positive show, right?
Yeah.
Good crowd. What'd you think of Bray Wyatt's return on that show?
It was a blast. I didn't expect it.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely didn't see that coming because almost everything on that show changed. By the way, that show blew away our Raw and SmackDown numbers for that week.
Did they show Bray's return on the network special? Because I haven't seen it yet. They did not.
No. Like everything except for pretty much one match was changed in some way. Either it wasn't a title match, an opponent got changed, or it became a cage match or no longer was a cage match. I think one match on that show stayed the same from like 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
And that's a bummer. Losing Braun Strowman and Becky Lynch from that show hurt. That hurt quite a bit. Those are, quite frankly, you could call Braun and Rollins 1 and 1A on the Raw brand as far as over, people are over. But then you lose the top SmackDown star too. That hurt. It was a fun show, but man, it did not need to be 3.5 hours long.
Did they not have Becky at least make an appearance?
Nope.
They didn't, huh?
Nope. 3 days before she was cleared to return to SmackDown.
Let me ask you this question, if you remember from Starrcade. Who did Sasha and Bayley team with that night? Who did they team with in the six-woman tag?
Was one of them, Dana Brooke and Ember
Dana
Moon.
Brooke. Okay. During the little segment on Raw, who's one of the girls that ran out and jumped him from behind?
Nia Jax. It was Dana Brooke.
Dana Brooke. Yeah. With no explanation for anything, because, wrestling fans are dumb and they don't see continuity anyway, right?
Yeah.
So, you know what, Sean?
Wait. Speaking of continuity, I got a second version. I like the t-shirt in this one a little more. And I'm done. You can go back to wrestling.
Tristan's spending his workday doing this?
I found out it was a team effort.
I approve. By the way, if you check your Twitter, Jimmy,
They're
you'll
all
see.
watching. They're all very excited.
The fella who asked about the story, he confirmed. He said, it is correct. I did ask. We've waited months for the scoops.
Wild.
Wow. Okay, you know what? We will tell the story. We will do it. Not today.
Jimmy!
Come on!
Not today. No. Because we already have a main event today. We already have a main event.
Blue Chew, and then you turn around and give our audience blue balls.
No, I didn't mean today.
Not fair.
We already have a main event today. We already have the fight today. We're not doing it today. Maybe next week. Maybe next week we'll talk about it.
You are Emmalina-ing our crowd.
No, you just misunderstood me when I said we'll talk about it. You didn't let me finish my sentence. This is miscommunication and confusion.
Someone in the chat just said, yeah, I was about to say that. Said, Jimmy, choose your fucking words better.
I'll donate money now if you talk about it.
We'll talk about it next week because
maybe we should put it behind a paywall. Oh, wait, WDB will still see it then, won't they?
Yeah, they probably will. Let's just say I think that they were a select subscriber for a while.
Faithful subscribers.
Yeah.
From Stamford, Connecticut.
I think it's about that time, Sean.
What time?
Time for you to get fucked up!
You need one? They work quick.
I think it's time for you to get warmed up, Sean.
I'm not getting warmed up. I'm not training. I don't even need to fight. I already beat Melisa at the press conference, and everybody knows that's the most important part. So I'm 1-0 no matter what.
You guys are tied because the disc track puts her up one, so it's time for the rubber match.
Come on, my press conference performance was wet. Fuck it! Let's fight!
Are we
fight?
We doing this?
Fight, really? We don't.
Sean, I want you to head to
I'm gonna switch into my nice gray fighting polo just in case. But
and I want you to head to the soon-to-be media room. Head to the soon-to-be media room.
I'll see you there.
Get yourself warmed up. All right. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna get Melisa. She's gonna warm up. She's gonna get into something better because I don't want you to screw up your listening to boy polo.
Oh God, no.
So she's gonna get into something else, and then it's time, folks. Time for the epic matchup: Latina Heat Melisa against the Ewing Express Sean Ross Sapp. It's been weeks in the making. It's no holds barred, taking place from our soon-to-be media room upstairs here in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Melissa's going to go get warmed up, and I hope you guys enjoy the fight.
It's okay.
And then next week we'll recap it, and when the fight's over, leave your comments either in the live chat on the YouTube comments, or Twitter. Let us know your thoughts on the fight, and let us know if you want to see a rematch depending on the outcome.
It's okay.
Let's go get this thing going, Melisa. Good luck to you.
Ooh.
Can't do that. I'm leaving. Melisa! No! Melisa! Stop! Don't do this. Melisa, what are you doing? Why are you climbing that so slow?
I saw it at a wrestling show once.
No!
I'm getting a little sick of your shit, Sean, and you know what?
music is that? It's so loud! Who is it?
Jimmy Van's not gonna fire me with the bitches at WWE. Tell him about your shitty internet, Sean.
No, Melissa,
What's up, you guys? Your girl Melissa here, managing educator of Sean Ross Sapp.